What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of The 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to The 8 Below Show, the best gaming related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. This episode of the show, guys, is going to be primarily about Phase 5 and my reaction to the aftermath of the Phase 5 recruitment challenge and just my thoughts on the challenge and just really the things that I learned from it and what I'm thinking and kind of some of my predictions on what and who may make it to the top 100. And so with that, there are going to be other topics though here in this episode of the 8 Below Show. We're one day after, of course, guys, of the Phase 5 recruitment challenge. So, like I said, it'll primarily be about Phase 5. But to start, we're going to talk about Gears of War and the future of this franchise moving forward. So let's get into it. So we've talked about the past, the present, and the future of Gears of War and where this series may be going, in the foreseeable future. And what I got to say, guys, is that Gears of War is really in a very weird state. Obviously, I've been one and I've been overly critical of the community as a whole for the demise of Gears of War as a franchise. I look at, so much complaining and things of that nature that come into play within the Gears of War scene. And it's really disheartening and it's unfortunate, all the backlash towards the coalition, the actual developers of this game. The reason why this series came back to life from the grave was because of them. And so it's been really unfortunate. Now, I do understand that there are things wrong with Gears of War as a whole. The more recent Gears of War games. I know that there's things wrong with it, and it's obviously okay to voice your frustrations, but it's the way in which you do it. And I've stated that a number of times, guys. Well, we know that the Coalition is working on Gear 6 at this point in time, which obviously I'm incredibly excited about Gear 6. I can't wait for this game to come out. However, there's been a lot of talk that, maybe that Gear 6 and Gear 7 may very well be put off. Those two games have been confirmed by Rod Ferguson, who was the studio head at the Coalition before he went on to Blizzard. And so we have two more titles coming, but the question that really remains is, are those games still going to be on if the community continues the way it's going, the way that it's just become really toxic in a major way? And look, guys, the Gears of War community is not the only toxic community. There are tons of communities out there that are toxic around their games. You could even look at games like Call of Duty. It has a very toxic community at times. But the difference is that Call of Duty as a whole is so much bigger than Gears of War that it can sustain that. It can have, communities that are toxic because there's other communities that aren't that way. Whereas with Gears of War, when there's a toxicity in the community, it's infectious and it's something that really has hurt the scene in a major way. People move on to other games and such. And, it's really a lose-lose at the end of the day. Well, one of the things also that people are really bringing up a lot in the community is that the Gears of War esports scene is going to be going away, like it's done because of Halo Infinite coming out. Gears of War esports is going to be, kind of put to the sidelines, whereas Halo Infinite will be front and center, which I think is completely, if it's true, I think that is very disheartening. That is very, in my opinion, something that definitely should not happen. I think that Halo Infinite certainly needs to be a part of esports and have, a place there because it's one of the originals of, esports as a whole. But Gears of War, make no mistake about it, guys, needs to coexist in the world of esports. I mean, this is a very unique esport. I think it needs to continue in a major way, and people need to be supporting it. I mean, if you want to see Gears esports just, go away, then, there you have it. But I believe that if you are a passionate person who is passionate about Gears of War as a title and such, and you care about this franchise still, we have to just be, obviously voicing our frustration, but also basically just stating what we'd like added, what we, that we want the Gears esports scene to continue, which I believe it needs to continue. It's a very important game, in my opinion, to the ecosystem of esports. It's just very unique. And, sure, they've made mistakes along the way with Gears Esports, but at the same time, I think that Gears Esports has absolutely been much bigger than Halo Esports. Halo has had nothing for a long time, guys, whereas Gears of War has had, has had a lot of, really successful events. It's very big in Mexico, which is amazing, and I just think that there is a passionate fan base here still with Gears of War. Now, that leads me to the second part of this, which is people leaving Gears Esports to go to Call of Duty, which is another thing that I think when I look at the landscape of gaming as a whole, it does make sense for a lot of these players that play, Gears of War to move over to Gears of War or move over to Call of Duty because they have a God-given ability when it comes to, Gears of War, but they're really just good at video games in general. And so a lot of those guys are going to be able to translate right over to Call of Duty and probably make a pretty nice name for themselves in the Challenger series. So does that make sense? I do think that it makes sense that some players should go over to the Challengers in the Call of Duty League because of how much bigger it is and how much money is involved and things of that nature. But I do think that Gears of War, sure, there's going to be some guys who go, and move on to Call of Duty, but then there's going to be others that are going to start rising to the top of the Gears Esports ladder. And so I think it's really important that there's more of an emphasis next season with Gears Esports on individual players. Sure, that is, sometimes how the league has kind of promoted it, but I think that these players need to be more front and center instead of just the team as a whole, more like individual players, similar to like what the NBA does. You all obviously have, great teams out there, like say, for example, the Los Angeles Lakers. Sure, you got the entire team, but there's a real emphasis on Anthony Davis and LeBron James. What I'm getting at here, guys, is if you really rally around those guys and you rally around, the big dogs in Gears of War, the up-and-comers, it's going to help continue. People will start really enjoying, individual players. The Call of Duty League does a really good job of it, having individual personalities. But this also is a responsibility of the players as well. They also need to be creating content. They need to be streaming and such, building an audience so that people want to watch the esports scene of Gears of War and kind of watch their favorite players do what they do best. And so, look, is Gears of War esports going anywhere? In my opinion, I do not think it is. I believe it needs to coexist with other esports out there. Sure, it's never going to be the biggest esport in the world, right? It's a very violent game and a violent esport, but it's also, a lot of trash talk and such, which happens in any, esport, but it's really elevated in a major way with Gears of War. And so I just think it needs to coexist though, guys. It's very important, especially for Microsoft as well. I mean, this is, when we talk about the juggernauts for Xbox as far as exclusives are concerned, you're looking at Halo and Gears of War. Now, sure, Fable looks like it's going to be coming up as well, but there's not going to be an esports scene around Fable unless they change that, which I don't think they will. But those are your two big heavy hitters, and I think it needs to continue. And there just needs to be more support on it, even though they're doing a pretty good job in my opinion. But I think that there needs to be even more support for the Gears of War esports scene. And, with Gear 6, very well, maybe they will kind of put more emphasis on the esports side. I think it's like a learning process. It's we're kind of, you crawl before you walk, before you run before you sprint. And it's kind of like that, I feel, with the Coalition. They're trying to get their bearings. They're trying to figure it out as we go. And they're getting better slowly but surely. So those are my thoughts, guys. I think Gears of War esports needs to coexist. It needs to stay around. This is a very important esport in my personal opinion. I'd love to hear yours, though, in the comment section down below. Do you want to see Gears Esports go the way of the dinosaur, or do you want it to continue in a major way into Gears 6? Let me know. And for more Gears of War and Gears of War Esports content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. Phase 5 was absolutely incredible, guys. I mean, absolutely incredible. Now, look, it might not be over for us. Fingers crossed, guys, it's not over for us yet. Hopefully, we make it to the top 100. I know that there's a ton of other, really large YouTubers and content creators going for Phase 5 that are getting way more views than I've had up to this point. But I still believe, I still have hope that we are good enough. We proved what our passion for this thing, for content creation. We proved it. We uploaded 5+ videos a day, guys, 71 videos in total for the Phase 5 Recruitment Challenge between this channel and my second channel. we want it, man. Like, I wanted this thing so bad. And I've stated this before, guys. If we don't go to the top 100, we don't make it to FaZe based on this recruitment challenge. Look, we're going to continue moving forward. We're going to continue the grind, the pursuit here on YouTube. It doesn't, change that. But I just, I really feel good about what we accomplished, what we did for the Phase 5 recruitment challenge up to this point. And so that leads me, guys, to what, I learned here from Phase 5. This is the first recruitment challenge I've gone for on this YouTube channel. I've had other YouTube channels in the past, guys, that I went for other, teams in the past. I went for Red Reserve, which was kind of like they were like the reserve team for FaZe. I went for Obey. I went for Soar. And I never won a recruitment challenge because all those teams that I went for them as a content creator. And back then, guys, when I went for these recruitment challenges, they weren't really picking up content creators. It was a very new thing, to be picking up content creators. They were looking for trick shotters and snipers mainly. And I just didn't, I wasn't good enough at trick shotting and sniping. And so anyway, I thought that this was the biggest opportunity for me ever, with Phase 5 being for anyone and everyone this year. Because once again, Phase 5 in the past has always been about, trick shotting and sniping and Call of Duty as well. So what I learned is that there is still a lot of people passionate about trick shotting and sniping in Call of Duty, even on Fortnite now, for the Phase 5 recruitment challenge. I mean, mainly when I would go on YouTube and I would put in the search bar, hashtag Phase 5, you kind of scroll down and you're seeing all the videos that are coming out. For the most part, it was Call of Duty trick shotting, Call of Duty sniping, Fortnite trick shotting. That was pretty much mainly what it was. And you know what? I love that. It's amazing. It kind of like rejuvenated, it revitalized the Call of Duty trick shotting and sniping, communities in a major way, and probably for the foreseeable future now, which is incredible. So that's one thing I learned. Number two is that this was the biggest Phase 5 recruitment challenge we've ever seen. I mean, there are so many people going for this thing, and I think that, there's so many people who want this thing bad. You can tell. And we just had to prove that we wanted it more. That's what we had to prove, guys, is that we wanted it more, and the way in which I did that was based on, the quality of content and the quantity of content. How many videos we're putting out each day, the quality of those videos, and the streams, and just everything all together, guys. I put everything into it. So like I said, I have no regrets on what we did on the, when it comes to Phase 5. The one thing would be, I wish I was better at hitting clips, guys. I mean, seriously, that would be the one thing. I just wish I was better when it comes to trick shotting and sniping in Call of Duty. I just wish I was better at it. I hit little clips here and there, but nothing crazy, right? And, that's why, my focus has always been on content creation, because that's what I believe I'm really good at. So, this also, one other thing that really Phase 5 taught me in a massive way, it kind of changed my focus on thumbnails. So thumbnails, guys, I've always said that they're kind of a small thing, but they really are a large thing in the grand, scheme of YouTube. And I never really focused much on thumbnails until the Phase 5 recruitment challenge. And once the Phase 5 recruitment challenge started, that's where I really put a ton of effort and time into the thumbnails. And that's going to be infectious to the point of, outside of the Phase 5 challenge, I'm going to continue doing that with my thumbnails, just consistently trying to get better with my thumbnails. I think it's really important spending more time on those thumbnails, because when I started this channel back in July of 2018, you can go all the way back and you can tell that I really didn't care much about my thumbnails. I didn't really put a ton of time and effort into them because I put a lot of time and effort into the video itself. I didn't really put a ton of time into the thumbnails. And so that's one thing that's changing. That's one thing I've learned from Phase 5, is that this is really important. The thumbnails are very, very important to, kind of just showing people what you're all about. And so I think that with the Phase 5 challenge, we definitely showed. We showed, guys, that showed out when it came to just the thumbnails, to the quality of videos, the quantity of videos. Like I said, 71 videos, guys, 5+ videos per day during a 2-week span. I believe we made history, Phase 5 history, I should say. I believe we made Phase 5 history. I don't think anybody else in the history that's gone for Phase 5 in the past or present has ever uploaded that many videos in a 2-week span. And so we did that, though. We did that. And that is why I said I put it all out there. I went all in on Phase 5, guys. And, I got no regrets, man. I mean, the ball is now in FaZe's court. They are the ones who are going to be deciding on who goes to the next round, to the top 100. And believe me, there's probably more submissions now than ever before. I mean, I would say that they're going to get tens of thousands of submissions, guys. And, like I said, I'm very happy with our submission, to say the least. So that's another thing that I really learned was, just the importance of thumbnails. So all in all, guys, I am very glad to see the revitalization, the resurgence of trick shotting and sniping in the Call of Duty scene. Because of Phase 5, because they brought this recruitment challenge back. I hope that they bring Phase 5 back once again. And here's the thing. This also taught me that there very well may not be another Phase 5 for a long time after this, because between the last Phase 5 and this one here in 2020, it's been years, guys, absolutely years. We've been hoping and praying for another Phase 5, and they've teased it in the past, and it just never came to fruition, and now we finally got it. And I got to say that, take this as a real blessing. That's why I went all in on this thing, because I am of the thought that maybe, just maybe, there's not going to be another Phase 5 for a long time. And, honestly, guys, this thing has been just incredible. The support from all of you, whether it's on Twitter, on YouTube, wherever it might be, guys, I appreciate it. Even though it's not like, overwhelming, like as far as like, we're getting, hundreds of thousands of views and things of that nature, because we're not that large of a YouTube channel. But I can tell you what, this is, the support I've gotten is absolutely incredible. Thank you for that, guys. You guys can, of course, check out my Phase 5 response on the YouTube channel. I'll put a link in the description down below. You guys can check it out. Like I said, we went all in, man. We put everything into the Phase 5 challenge, and I'm very proud of what we've done, guys. But with that, I would love to hear, who do you guys think is going to be going to the top 100? Who do you think is getting an invitation to the top 100 of the Phase 5 Recruitment Challenge? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Phase 5 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. We've talked in the past about Rainbow Six and this franchise, the past, present, and what the future may look like. And one of the, hot topics that I like to talk about, guys, is some of the, games within this franchise that were supposed to be made, that were very close to coming out, and some that also got canceled. And I want to talk in particular about Rainbow Six Patriots and where this game is. Will this be a game that ever comes out at some point or another? And, with that, guys, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below, and let's get into it. So, guys, according to the Rainbow Six fandom page, Rainbow Six Patriots is a canceled game in the Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six series. The game was going to take place in New York City as an American terrorist organization known as the True Patriots attack wealthy businessmen demanding economic equality. Now, this game was announced to be canceled in favor of Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege in 2014. Now, to give you guys some context here, I'll never forget getting my Game Informer in the mail when I used to get Game Informer, and Rainbow Six Patriots was on the front page, guys. They had a whole article on it about this game coming out, and, it was pretty far into development, to say the least. This was going to be a pretty big title, and I was very excited about just hearing about what the game was about. I was very much so on board with it. I thought that it was going to be a great, move. Obviously we had the Rainbow Six Vegas games, and I thought that, Rainbow Six Vegas 1 was great. I didn't like 2 as much, and we were thinking maybe we're going to get a trilogy here. Maybe we'll get Rainbow Six Vegas 3. We didn't. We were going to get Rainbow Six Patriots, but then they bring out Rainbow Six Siege. Now, when we look at the gameplay, when we talk about what the features and all of those things, so based on the trailers that Ubisoft had released, the game would have been much more context-based than previous games. In a style similar to Heavy Rain, actions and their corresponding button presses would appear over items. However, since the release date was at the time so far away and the footage in the trailer was not actual gameplay, this could have changed further into development. Now, There was going to be an unprecedented narrative. Patriots' storyline explores an ultra-realistic what-if scenario inspired by real events and characters, which I thought would be really cool. A new threat for a new team. Terrorism is evolved, and Team Rainbow must face an organized militia of homegrown insurgents. There's enhanced squad management. At the press of a button, this Rainbow Squad will perform the most efficient and deadly tactic given the context of the situation. Evolved combat. The game's combat techniques have been pushed to the next level with cover and weapon systems redesigned to accommodate every combat situation. And then intense multiplayer experience. Players will be rewarded for working as a team and mastering the game's new features that enhance communication and tactical execution between teammates. One thing I'll say, guys, about this, just overall, Rainbow Six Patriots was going to be, to me, like that full package deal where you were going to get a full campaign of something that was going to be very immersive, something that was going to be really just cool as a whole, like just a really interesting concept. And then on top of that, you were going to get a multiplayer experience. You were going to get, like co-op experiences and things of that nature. So it's going to be like this full package, right? And I always talk about that on the YouTube channel. Having a full package is a very important thing. Now, we got Rainbow Six Siege, which a lot of people will say, well, Rainbow Six Siege is arguably the best Rainbow Six, ever. The thing about Rainbow Six Siege to me, though, is that it's not a full package. It's a multiplayer experience with, some operator missions. It doesn't have a single-player campaign, and, obviously the multiplayer is very good and is becoming bigger and bigger over time. So you could say that, well, they got rid of Rainbow Six Patriots and what we got was even better than what that was going to be. But I actually think that Rainbow Six Patriots could have been something really special. Now, will we ever get Rainbow Six Patriots in the future is another question, guys. Obviously, I feel that there is a real opportunity here because this is a very, this title was going to be probably relatively, there was going to be a lot of controversy around this title, I believe. And so would they ever bring it back? I actually think they might, at some point or another. Now, Rainbow Six Siege, who knows what the shelf life of that game is going to be? I'm pretty positive that Rainbow Six Siege, as far as the esports side of things, is going to continue for the foreseeable future. However, Rainbow Six Patriots could be the next thing after that of Rainbow Six Quarantine. I think that there's a real opportunity for them to bring Patriots back and have that single-player story. Maybe even have... maybe not necessarily multiplayer, but they can add things from Patriots to Rainbow Six Siege, like new, consistently adding new maps, weaponry, things of that nature. I think that there's a way in which they could do that, similar to like what Call of Duty is doing with Warzone. Warzone's going to be, tied into Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, so new weapons and things of that nature are going to be added to that. So I think you could continue adding things to Rainbow Six Siege as the multiplayer game, but Rainbow Six Patriots could be, the next addition to the single-player story, co-op modes, and, adding multiplayer to Rainbow Six Siege. Now, the single-player campaign would have featured Rainbow up against the True Patriots in New York City. Ubisoft stated it would have been the most in-depth narrative of any Rainbow Six game before it, with the player controlling multiple viewpoints throughout the campaign. Which right there, guys, that really gets me, I just really wish that we would have been able to play this title. I feel like this was a game that still was, a ways away from completion and coming out, but I think that there was such an opportunity that they had here. Even though they went to Rainbow Six Siege, I just feel like Patriots had something there. The game would have had a new feature in multiplayer called the Sand Table. Before the start of a match, a layout of the level would be available for teams to make strategies and familiarize themselves with the level. I love that idea as well. So, this game as a whole, guys, could we ever see it? I absolutely think we could. I mean, just, from a graphical standpoint, from what we've seen as far as the gallery of screenshots and the trailers and things of that nature, even, of course, from the Game Informer magazine, there was something there with Rainbow Six Patriots. And I do believe that if they decide not to do Rainbow Six Siege 2 after Rainbow Six Quarantine, I think there's an opportunity here for Rainbow Six Patriots to get the green light. But really, at the end of the day, guys, it comes down to the community at large. The community has to be the one stating that they want another Rainbow Six game, that being Rainbow Six Patriots, to come out. So it really comes down to that. We have to be the ones echoing that game into existence. And so I think that if it's ever going to be made, it's going to be based upon the developers hearing that from the fan base. So if you want Rainbow Six Patriots, guys, I certainly think it's possible. Whether or not that's what Ubisoft is thinking of doing after Rainbow Six Quarantine in this franchise, or they're planning on doing Rainbow Six Siege 2, is yet to be seen. But let me know, what do you guys think, happened here to Rainbow Six Patriots? Where do you think it is? Because if you ask me, I believe that it's in a limbo state. It's in the state of, there's a possibility that it could come out at some point or another, but, obviously, it's in this like limbo state, this state of, we don't know if it'll ever return at this point in time. But let me know what you guys think. And for more Rainbow Six Patriots content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. People have been asking me what my plans are after the Phase 5 Recruitment Challenge, completed, or at least the first, actual like submission video and such went live. And people asked me, what's the aftermath now? What's your plans moving forward here on the YouTube channel? Are you going to wait for the results, or what might happen? And to answer that question, guys, the aftermath of Phase 5 is, look, we're going back to business as usual until we find out who made it to the top 100. Look, I put everything I could into Phase 5. I did everything that I felt I needed to do, that being 5+ videos per day, 71 videos on the YouTube channel for Phase 5. And look, the Phase 5 response is up on the YouTube channel. I have a link in the description down below. You guys can check it out. I put everything into it, guys, for 2 weeks. But now it's time that, look, we're back to that regularly scheduled programming on the YouTube channel, that we are going to be doing the 8 Below show on a consistent, daily basis. Once again, that you guys can take in all of that content. And, I learned so much from Phase 5 up to this point. I hope we make it to the top 100. But, at the same time, guys, there's going to be thousands of submissions for Phase 5 to go through. Who knows how long it's going to take them to get the top 100 put together. And I felt that it's very important that we continue moving forward. Guys, I've never missed an upload or, a single day since I started this channel back in July of 2018. We've uploaded every single day on the YouTube channel, and I'm not planning on making this the first time because I'm waiting for the Phase 5 results to come out. No, we need to continue pushing forward. I think that's a very important thing. We got to continue moving forward here, even though Phase 5 is done. At least this, first part to Phase 5 is done. So I learned so much from Phase 5, and I talked about that earlier in the show. And the aftermath now is it's back to what we're doing, right? It's back to content. It's back to, doing what we do, guys, here on the YouTube channel, creating the highest level of content for you guys to take in, doing the 8 Below show, and bringing you guys a bunch of content that you guys can take in based around a number of different games, different topics, and things of that nature. That's what it's all about, man. And I love talking to you guys. I love bringing you guys the highest quality and quantity of content you guys can find on YouTube. And that's an important thing to me. And I told you guys that, when I was doing the Phase 5 Recruitment Challenge, I told you that after those 2 weeks, I would go back to regularly scheduled programming. If we make it to the top 100, we're back on that Phase 5 grind. But we're pushing forward, man. We are continuing aggressively to trying to do this, on a full-time basis, guys. I want this more than anybody, and that's just my confidence of myself, guys. I want this thing so bad. I want Phase 5 so bad, and I showed that in those 2 weeks. Now it's time to continue moving forward in what we're doing. And like I said, I have no regrets whatsoever for what I accomplished and what I did for Phase 5. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about, what some of the things I'm doing right, some of the things I'm doing wrong, and some of the things I can do better moving forward on YouTube. And so at the end of the day, I think it's helping me to become a better content creator. That's what Phase 5 did for me up to this point. And I want to say, good luck to every single person out there that is going for Phase 5, that, put a submission together. 2 weeks, man. It's unlike anything. It was just crazy, man. 71 videos, guys. I think we broke the record for the most videos ever uploaded in Phase 5 history for a 2-week span. Look, I laid it all out there. The ball is now in Phase's court to decide who the top 100 are going to be. And we are back to business as usual. We are continuing aggressively to do this content creation dream, and we want to make it a reality. So that is the aftermath here, guys, of Phase 5. Phase 5 taught me so much about myself, what I'm capable of, and now we got to keep moving forward. We have to keep moving forward and continue creating content and stuff. I don't got time just to take a long break, right? I mean, we can do that at some point or another down the road, but I am aggressively wanting to do this on a full-time basis. And so I'm not going to stop until we're able to do that. And even afterwards, I want to continue. And I stated this also, guys, that, what happens if FaZe doesn't choose me? If I don't make it to the top 100, or if I don't make it to one of the 5 people to join FaZe, what then? Well, guys, we are going to continue to aggressively do this on a full-time basis. That's what we want. And I, of course, want to join FaZe, and I want it so bad. But we have to keep creating content. And I think that's what separates us from a lot of other people out there. There's probably going to be people out there that do have done the Phase 5 recruitment challenge, and then they're just going to have the response up, and that's the last video they uploaded, and they're going to wait until the results come out, and then they'll start creating content again. For me, guys, it's, yeah, we put up the response yesterday, but now it's time to create, more content, every day after that. That's what it is, guys. Content creation is all about content. It's all about bringing the highest quality of content that you can bring on the internet, and for me, the highest quantity, because I believe that there's a perfect marriage of the two, quality and quantity. You put those two things together and you can have something that you never thought was possible. And so that's what I'm going for here, guys. That's what I built my whole Phase 5 submission around, was this concept of creating a high number of videos, as well as high quality videos. And you kind of put those two things together, guys, and there you have it. And even if we don't make it to FaZe, we have that history there of what we did for Phase 5. If they ever bring Phase 5 back again, we'll go for it again, probably. If there's another team out there that we want to join someday or another, and they bring out a recruitment challenge, maybe we'll go for that. But FaZe has been my dream, guys. It's a dream of mine. I want FaZe, man. I want that team. I want what they got, the culture they're building there. Everything around it is unlike anything I've ever experienced before. How they've just transcended gaming and entertainment, even to outside of those things, to becoming even more, a lifestyle brand and things of that nature. So I want it so bad, and I stated I want it more than anyone else, and I'm going to prove it. And that's what we did. We uploaded a ton of videos, guys, high quality videos, high quantity videos, and now the aftermath is we got to wait and see. But while we're waiting and seeing, we're also aggressively creating content on the side, continuing to bring you guys content out there. Because I'm not just going to have my submission up and no other content until the results come out. No, we are going to aggressively, seek doing content creation on a full-time basis. And that's the answer. The aftermath of Phase 5, guys. The greatest recruitment challenge of our time, the biggest opportunity for me to make a name for myself, and I have no regrets for what we did. I think that we did absolutely everything that we needed to prove to FaZe that we are good enough. But with that, guys, let me know, who do you guys think is going and making it to the top 100 of the Phase 5 recruitment challenge? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Phase 5 content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.